She made her poor mother ride in her car booth, and this happened. Once upon a time, there lived a woman named Chinyu, who vowed to marry into a very wealthy family. Chinyu was not just selective, she was obsessively determined to never associate with anyone who wasn't wealthy. Not just rich, but the kind of wealth that could last generations. "How can I, Chinyu, marry a poor wretch?" she often boasted to her friend Uju, who was happily married to a modest man. "Chinyu, there's nothing wrong with being poor," Uju would remind her. "There's everything wrong with it," Chinyu retorted, rolling her eyes. "Your husband is a servant, Uju. Why can't he even steal from his boss to give you a better life? I can't believe you settled for such poverty." Uju, offended but calm, reminded Chinyu of her own humble background. Chinyu's mother was a struggling market woman in their village, but Chinyu had done everything possible to dissociate herself from her roots. She fabricated lies about her family, telling everyone in the city that her father was a wealthy businessman abroad and that her family owned estates. Everything in Chinyu's life was a facade. Her rented apartment, her borrowed car, her fake designer clothes, all were part of an illusion to attract a rich suitor. One day, while at work, Chinyu received an invitation to an exclusive party where the wealthiest elites would gather. This was a golden opportunity. However, the ticket came at a steep price she couldn't afford. Desperate, Chinyu tried borrowing from her friends, but no one was willing to help. Broke and out of options, Chinyu concocted a plan. She traveled to her village and visited her mother under the pretense of helping the family. Their home had recently been flooded, and Chinyu feigned concern, convincing her mother to hand over the family's land documents for safekeeping. Naively trusting her daughter, Chinyu's mother gave her the documents, unaware that Chinyu planned to sell the land to fund her lavish lifestyle. With the money secured, Chinyu returned to the city, rented a glamorous dress, and borrowed expensive jewelry. On the night of the party, she arrived looking every bit the wealthy heiress she pretended to be. The venue was packed with influential people, but Chinyu had her sights set on one man, Tobe, the only son of a billionaire family. He was handsome, well-dressed, and exactly what Chinyu dreamed of. She approached him, spinning tales about her wealthy family abroad and her luxurious upbringing. Tobe listened politely, though his sharp eyes noticed inconsistencies in her story. Still, Chinyu persisted, certain that her charms would win him over. Over the next few weeks, Chinyu became obsessed with Tobe. She followed him to his favorite hangouts, attended his church, and orchestrated encounters to appear coincidental. But despite her efforts, Tobe remained distant, his heart belonging to his longtime girlfriend, Ndidiameka. Determined to eliminate her competition, Chinyu hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on Ndidiameka. When the investigator found nothing, Chinyu resorted to forging text messages and doctored photos, making it appear as though Ndidiameka was unfaithful. She anonymously sent this to Tobe, who, though skeptical, began to doubt his girlfriend. Their once perfect relationship crumbled, giving Chinyu the opening she wanted. Chinyu began visiting Tobe under the guise of comforting him. She brought him home-cooked meals and lavished him with attention. Slowly, he began to warm up to her. One evening, he invited her to dinner, and Chinyu was ecstatic when he asked her to be his girlfriend. Her dream was finally coming true. She moved into Tobe's mansion, attended high-profile events by his side, and basked in the admiration of those around her. Chinyu's life seemed perfect. But as her engagement to Tobe approached, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Meanwhile, Chinyu's mother had grown desperate. The land Chinyu sold had been claimed by strangers, leaving her and her son homeless. Heartbroken, she traveled to the city to confront Chinyu. When she arrived at Tobe's mansion, Chinyu was horrified. Panicked, she dragged her mother to the back of the house and yelled at her. "Do you want to ruin everything I've worked for? You're nothing but a poor, wretched woman." Chinyu screamed. When her mother begged for the land documents, Chinyu shoved her into the trunk of her car and drove her to the bus station, ordering her to return to the village. As the engagement party approached, Chinyu spared no expense. She rented an extravagant dress and prepared to cement her place in Tobe's wealthy family. On the day of the party, she walked into the grand venue, head held high, feeling like a queen. Tobe took the stage to give a speech, thanking everyone for attending. He praised Chinyu, calling her beautiful and intelligent. Chinyu beamed, confident that her lies had worked. But then, Tobe gestured toward a large screen behind him. "What you see next is the truth about the woman I was about to marry," he said. The lights dimmed, and a video began to play. It showed Chinyu at a village market, haggling over second-hand clothes. Another clip showed her yelling at her mother and shoving her into the trunk of her car. Gasps filled the room as Chinyu's carefully constructed lies unraveled before everyone's eyes. Finally, Tobe invited Chinyu's mother and brother onto the stage. "Mama, I invited you here to honor you," he said, embracing her. "You deserve respect, not shame." Turning to Chinyu, Tobe's tone grew cold. "You lied, manipulated, and betrayed everyone, including your own family. I knew who you were from the start, but I wanted the truth to come out." As Chinyu stood frozen, Ndiamaka entered the room, stunning in an elegant dress. Tobe took her hand, addressing the crowd. "This is the woman I love. She has always been honest, kind, and loyal. No amount of lies could ever change that." Humiliated, Chinyu fled the venue, her dreams of wealth and status shattered. Back in the village, her mother refused to take her in, leaving Chinyu to face the consequences of her actions alone. As for Uju, her husband's hard work was rewarded when his late boss left him a fortune in his will. Their lives transformed overnight, proving that humility, hard work, and honesty always triumph over lies and greed. Chinyu, once so desperate to escape poverty, learned too late that true wealth comes from integrity and love, not deception.